Welcome to Real Talk with Real Estate Pros, where we bring you exclusive interviews with the real estate experts. We'll delve deep into their journey to success and learn how to go the extra mile to serve their clients' wants and needs. Let's dive in. Here's your host, John Money McKinley.
Morning, everyone. John Money McKinley here. Thank you all for stopping by for another edition of Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. I want to thank everybody for tuning in every week. I want to thank all my new subscribers that have joined. And as always, we do have the live chat open. So if you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat. I would also like to ask you all if you could do me a favor. We're really trying to grow this show and really trying to get some more information out there and be able to bring you all the truth on what's really happening in the wonderful world of real estate. And that's why I bring on special guests every week who are experts in the field of real estate. They're here to be able to give us the truth about what's really going on in the world of real estate. Because let's be honest, it's a whole lot of stuff where you got a lot of actors that get on the television and give you all kinds of stuff that they read off a script, but they've never actually been in the business. So if you all would do me a favor, please like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. I'd really appreciate it. And if you know anybody that is interested in possibly being a guest on my show, please go ahead and have them shoot me a text, and I'd love to chat with them and talk with them. But with all that said, I would like to bring on my guest today. He has got a long history. His name is Felix Lopez. He has been in the wonderful world of real estate for about 20 years on the residential side and has transitioned as well, kind of moved into the multifamily side, which I know a lot of my people here, they do a lot of real estate investing as well too. So with that said, Felix, thank you very much for coming on the show today. Yeah, I am glad you're able to come in today because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of real estate today. And I definitely want to dive into it, especially on the side of real estate investing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, I've been doing this for close to 20 years with the residential, and getting into multifamily was a whole new venture. And I was, skeptical at first. I'm Holmes. I was injured from an accident, and I just had shoulder surgery, so I wasn't going nowhere, especially being in a wheelchair.
Oh,
So I definitely couldn't go anywhere. So I was just on the internet, and watching this crazy guy going at it on there, talking about multifamily, how anybody can get in there and start doing it. I'm like, oh, here we go, another scam. It's like, oh, God. But then the guy started mentioning stuff that, since I was already in real estate, started hitting home. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible. This crazy guy was Grant Cardone. Never heard of him. But, he's out there now. And so I started listening, and he had a free event coming up. So I'm like, you know what? It's free. So let me sit on it. It's a few hours, see what it's like. So I did it. And a lot of the stuff he was mentioning made sense. So now we had another event coming up. If you want to do that, it's going to cost a little bit, but, you can either do it from home or, you can go to the event itself. I'm like, well, since I'm in no, health-wise, I was like, I physically-wise, I couldn't go anywhere. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll do the webinar. I'll do that. And once the webinar was over, man, I was hooked. I'm like, you know what? Get me in this, And I just took off from there. It was just great. I went to a live event, a few of them actually for Greg Cardone, and that's when I started and met a bunch of interesting people, and it all started by networking. And that's the most important part of this business is the networking, getting to know other people who are like-minded, who are interested in doing it, interested in learning, interested in investing their money. It was good. You can put your money in someplace, get a return on it, and use the property as tax write-off.
Wait a minute, Felix. Are you telling me that you can have tax benefits from investing in real estate even in 2024?
Absolutely. And the best part is the government's going to put it there. They put it in place, and you know what? Hey, here it is. You invest in real estate, you get a return on it, and you get the tax benefits of the property. And not only as the owner, but as an investor. Because as an investor, you're part owner of the property, so you get to use that for your taxes.
Well, that's the beauty behind the power of real estate is that's an investment that you still have some control in. You get to decide on, do I want to put my hard-earned money in this investment here? And then when you decide to do that, you have control of determining what's going on with your investment, helping determine what your rate of return is going to be on your investment. Then you also get to file it on your taxes and get a beautiful tax write-off for it.
Yeah, yeah. And then, there's all different portions of parts of the process. You have your general partners, you have your KPs, you have your limited partners. So as a limited partner, you really have no say in what goes on in the property. So you have to trust the process and trust the person you are investing with, which is huge. Just don't sit there and like, oh, I like the property. Here's the money. I don't know who you are, but here you go. But I always suggest get to know the person. If somebody's calling you up and you have no idea who that person is and they're asking you for money, me personally, I'm not going to go with that person. Who are you? At least for me, it was rough giving somebody money. It was hard. I'm going to give you money that I have, money that I saved. Money that I don't know if I'm going to get back on it. So it took me, 6 months to really get to know these people. It's actually a little bit longer than that, and get an idea of what was going on, figure out how everything was working, and at first it wasn't computing. So what I did was I brought my son along to a couple of events. One of my younger son, and because he's great with numbers, he's great with questions, and I'm like, what, he's the perfect person to bring with me. So I brought him along, and he's tight-minded that he's going to ask the right questions, and he did, and he picked up so one way we figure out if the property's working or not is we do a little bit of what they call napkin underwriting. So he picked up on that like it was, he already knew what it was. So it was great. So I was like, all right, perfect. So I'm still having a little trouble with it, but he picked it up immediately. So he was underwriting. From 5 minutes of leaving the course, he was already underwriting deals.
Now, is this for the multifamily or is this for the single family side of investing?
Multifamily side of it.
Okay.
So but once I put my first investment in and learned how the process worked, I was like, okay, I was a lot more comfortable with it. So now I'm like, all right, you know what? I invested my own money into this. Now I'm comfortable asking other people to do the same thing I'm doing. Putting money in. So now I'm gonna find the deals, and I'm gonna try and get a deal of my own and get people to invest. And that's how it all started. And it's been taken off ever since then. We got close to 400 units, invested in Texas, Arizona, Georgia, Tennessee, and we're working on something in Florida. So it's getting there. So
Nice.
it's getting there. So we've got about 6 investments, and it's perfect. Like I said, I'm an investment as a limited partner, so I invested my money in and trusting somebody else to do the work. Does it always work out 100%? No. You're gonna have your ups and downs, especially in this market. So you got to be patient. Right now, with multi-families, it's a great market. You just got to find the right deal. You got to be patient. You got to do your homework. Just don't jump on something because somebody says it's great. Jump on it because you did the math yourself, and you can do the numbers yourself, and be willing to try and find somebody who's willing to work with you and teach you how to do it. I'm not the best at it, but I get the work done. I know that I can do the numbers. I have the calculations. I get it all done. I can figure out the numbers. And if I need something assistance with it, I have partners that I can deal with. I can say, hey, listen here. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I came up with. You tell me what you come up with. Let's see if we're on the same page. See if it's a good deal or not. And let's work on it.
But you've now, how long? Because I know you said you were in the world of the single family side of things. Now, were you on the investing side in that, or were you just in the being a real estate agent, a listing, and a buyer's agent?
I was just doing the real estate listing portion of it. And, until my son decided that, while I was teaching him multifamilies, he was doing all the numbers. Now he wanted to do something I wanted to do years ago. So here he is, 25 years old, and I want to buy properties. Okay, let's do this. So 24 years old, he bought his first property, turned it into an Airbnb. It's doing great. Less than a year later, jumping on another piece of property, got a multifamily. So we wound up getting that, which is perfect. So he's with that, and now he's looking for his third property. On his own, but of course with my help, and he's doing great. And then we just purchased the property in Texas, and so I was able to get him on that deal, and had him do a little work, and now he's a general partner on it.
Nice. What part of Texas were you able to pick that property up in?
Houston.
In Houston. Okay, so basically right in my backyard. But see, okay. So you've went from the single family. Your son really jumped into the single family. You were doing the listing side and the buyer's agent side, but your son really jumped into the investing side on that. But you've transitioned, focused mainly on the multifamily now, but you've really only been in that a couple of years, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I've only been in it for about 2.5 years.
Okay. So in 2.5 years, you've managed to take yourself from 0 doors or properties to 400 plus doors. That is fascinating.
Yeah, there's people out there that have done the same in the last couple of years. Went from 0, they have 1,000 units, 2,000, and growing. It's I tell everybody, it's like you're definitely not going to be able to do this somewhere else. So find the people that you work well with, find the people that are willing to bust their butts and do what's necessary to get something, and get them out there. Find the people who are willing to network. Build these network events, you're going to find like-minded people. I think doing this, I find myself in places where there's billionaires and billionaires. So it's it's a great place to be in, and surrounded and great people to be surrounded by.
It's amazing what happens when you surround yourself by people that are doing something. If you hang around people that aren't going anywhere, you're probably not going to go anywhere yourself. But if you hang around people who are doing stuff, you're bound to pick up on that. And when I was a young man myself, I heard this great analogy. The guy sat down, he was talking with me. He said, "John, let me ask you a question. What happens when you roll around in dog shit?" It's like, what? What are you talking about? He goes, "It's a simple question. What happens when you roll around in it?" I said, "Well, it sticks to you." He goes, "Exactly." He goes, "But here's something that most people don't know and are not going to tell you. The same thing happens with money. You just got to roll around a little more. You just got to be a little sharper than rolling around in the dog stuff."
Exactly. So the people I'm surrounding myself with are people who have been there, who were rolling around in the dog shit, trying to get out of there, who made the mistakes, who sacrificed a lot of their life to learn the process, and those are the people I'm learning from. It's like, hey, listen, I've been there, I've done it, I've made the risk, I took the risk, I made the mistakes, and I learned by them. And now I'm sharing this information with you, so that's one step you can jump over. That's one step you can skip and not worry about. And here's the process. It works. Why does it work? Because look where I'm at. Are there ups and downs in this business? Absolutely. But that's when that's where you learn from it. The only way to move forward is by making mistakes. You're never going to learn to do something unless you take that risk. And a lot of people aren't willing to take the risk. It's like, well, if you don't take the risk, you're not going to move forward and move on.
Well, the beauty with real estate investing as well is it is such a forgiving investment. it leaves a lot of wiggle room for mistakes that you can, unless you've really just gone into something where you've jumped off a cliff without even looking. Real estate is a very forgiving. I've got, a matter of fact, one of the gentlemen who taught me when I was just young and dumb. One of the first stories he told me about was, he goes, I literally bought a house that when I went to go look at it after I'd already closed on it, there was no back of the house. I said, what? I said, what do you mean you bought a house that didn't have a back to it? You didn't look at it before you bought it? He goes, no, I don't have time to look at these houses. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm doing the calculations. And he goes, and I go out to the house. I get my contractor there, and he's going, oh, his name's John as well. And he's going, oh, he goes, but luckily I bought it correctly, and I was able to do what I needed to do with it to where I didn't lose money on the deal. I made a little bit of money.
So he lucked out.
Exactly. But like I said, real estate is a very, very forgiving sport, as I like to call it. And this just like with sports, you want to have the right people in your corner. That is so key to real estate, whether you're buying a house to live in or whether you're getting into the world of real estate investing. You've got to have the right people in your corner. I mean, look at a professional fighter. They're not going to get into the ring if they've got any IQ with people in their corner who don't know what they're doing. And case in point, I'll bring up old Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. You can, if anybody remembers that fight from so long ago, you see Tyson in the corner. He got getting beat up in the ring, and his corner guys are going, "We don't know what to do," because they fired his old crew. But I bring all that up is in the world of real estate investing and real estate purchasing, you want to have the right people in your corner, whether it's your lender, your real estate agent, your real estate mentors, title companies, insurance people. You've got to have the right people in your corner who are looking out for your best interest.
Oh, 100%. And a lot of this business is, knowing the right people. And it's, when you do the underwriting, it's very important to have somebody in the mortgage business who understands what you're doing. And if you can get that person and be on the same page, hey, listen, John, I'm looking at a piece of property. This is what I came up with. Take a look at it. Let me know what you think. And there you go. Boom. And, like I tell everybody, so listen, you can't go wrong with it because the mortgage person is going to tell you that if you can do it or not. If your numbers are wrong, they're going to work the numbers and they're going to sit there and say, you're nowhere close to where you're supposed to be. So, yeah, this is not a great deal for us. So we're going to have to pass on this. This is brings us to where Trump is now. It's like, banks are in business not to lose money. So they're not going to look at a piece of property. If you tell them it's worth $400 million, they're going to say, they're not going to say, okay, here you go. They're going to look at the property. So, yeah, no, it's not worth 400. It's worth 3. We're going to give you a loan based on 300 million, not 4. That's why they don't lose money, because they're not going to give you money based on what you think it is. They're going to give you money based on what they know it is.
Exactly. And that's that people, some people get a little upset by that, but it's like, well, this person told me it was worth this person told me it was worth that. Well, who was that person that told you it was worth that? Well, the person wanted to sell me the property. It's like, well, you got to remember, they're coming from the position of they're wanting to sell you the property. I said, when the lender, when we send our appraiser out there, we're coming from the position of we want to know what is the real value of that property today. What is it worth today? And based on when it's a renovation type of loan, what is it going to be worth after you do this set of repairs to it? And we're not there to have the appraiser lowball you, but we're darn sure not going to want an appraiser to go out there who's just going to overinflate the value, because you're going to be high and dry on that situation there.
That's the last thing you want to do. It's like, you don't want to go onto this property thinking you're going to make this money, and all of a sudden, your payments are doubled because you missed this or you missed that. It's like, with all of that going on, you're not going to make any profit. And how do you make profit for your investors? So it's a real due diligence process, and you got to do the numbers. You got to do it correctly. And like I always say, have more than one person look at it. Get different numbers. Because the numbers are the numbers. You can't change the numbers. The rents are the rents. The numbers are there. So just write it up and you can figure it all out. The interest rates are the interest rates. So yeah, mortgage company, this is the rate. Okay, that's great. Do it that way. No other way around it.
Exactly. And I always stress to people, whether you're buying a home to live in or buying a home for investment, is you want to make sure at the end of the day, especially on the investment side, is this property going to cash flow? Are you going to be getting a positive return every month? If you're not getting a positive return every month, you need to throw it to the curb. Just like when you're buying a home to live in, you're not necessarily looking at it from a cash flow perspective. However, you want to look at it from a perspective of, okay, what is my outgo going to be on this new property? And is it within my budget? Because the world of lending, in some cases, I've said this a lot, I can get somebody approved for a dollar amount that I look at that and go, yeah, you can get approved for that. However, are you really going to be comfortable with that payment? You yourself, the borrower, has to be comfortable with that monthly housing obligation, or you've just bought yourself a prison. You didn't buy a home.
And that's on everybody on that. So just because you're approved for $700,000 doesn't mean you should go buy something for 700,000. That's not the way it works. You buy something where it's in your comfort zone, where you're able to make payments and still be able to live. Still be able to go out and enjoy a date night every weekend.
Exactly. And especially now in these times where we've got the inflation is, in my opinion, the highest it's ever been in over the past 70 plus years.
I agree with that. It's just crazy. Right now it's not going. Everybody thought, don't worry about it. It'll be down again. Yeah, look where it is now. It's still crazy. I mean, look at this. Residential is still nuts. Prices are still going up. I mean, people are still losing bidding wars. It's crazy. My client, we're looking on the 11th house to put an offer in because we're losing to all cash offers. We're losing to people putting in over $100,000, bids over $100,000 over asking. It's nuts.
Well, another thing too, and I've brought this up for a long time about what's happened with the world of interest rates. I know everybody loved when I was able to give them 2-something interest rates, 3% interest rates, 4% interest rates. I loved doing it. It was great. What's the interest rate today? Oh, it's 3%. Oh, that's great. That's great. It was fantastic. However, it was unrealistic and unsustainable. And the problem we have, I definitely don't want to turn this into a political talk, but the problem we have is the past couple administrations just kept riding that wave of the cheap interest rates when we really should have been looking at moving the rates up. Because let's be in all honesty here, Felix, interest rates for single family homes to buy in, to live in, they really should be in the 5s to 6s, even somewhat in the 7s, because that keeps a sustainable, healthy market. Just like days on the market. If your house sits on the market for 5 days and gets picked up and sold, that quickly becomes just as unhealthy as a market as if your house sits on the market for a year and doesn't move.
And you know what? Everybody forgot where the interest rates were before that happened. You know, Listen, go back years, go back to the 80s. What were the interest rates back then? 18, 19%.
Yep.
So you're at 7% now. So it's, and where were you before the 3%, 4%? We were still in the 6%, 7% area. So, everybody forgot where they were before that. So everybody wanted, would I want 3% back? Sure, absolutely. Because if that happens, I'm going to try and buy up everything I can. But, you have a lot of people like, interest rates are too high right now. I'm going to wait for it to go down. I'm like, well, that's going to be a big mistake for you because if the interest rates go down, what do you think it's going to do to the price of the house? They're going to go up. They're going to go up. So buy now. Find it. If you're going to afford it, get it. Especially now. Listen, 3.5% you can put down. If you buy 3 or more, you can put what, 5% down? It's compared to 25%.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, sit down with people on a daily basis, and we sit down and we go over options for them. And yes, we have options as low as 3.5% down. We even have options. I've got a great couple that I'm working with right now that at the beginning of next month, they're going to be closing on their home. They were able to get that with no money down on a USDA loan. And they were told by another lender, no, they can't get a USDA loan. And then the realtor said, hey, you need to call John Money. Call John Money, talk with them, looked at it, take a look at it. And they're like, wait a minute. I mean, you can do this? I said, yes, I wouldn't tell you. Well, our lease is coming up. And if we don't get the home loan and get the home we're wanting here, we're going to be homeless. I said, I'm not going to let you be homeless. Sure enough, we'll be closing the first part of April.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's what I always say. Always, if you're going to talk to a mortgage rep, talk to at least three, minimum of three. And I tell them, so, go with who you feel most comfortable with. But, don't go with the person just because, don't worry about it. These other two are BS and I can get you whatever the hell you want. If he's telling you that without even looking at your stuff, there's something wrong.
Oh yeah. Well, you wanna deal, whether it's an agent you're working with or whether it's someone like myself, a lender. You want to work with somebody that you have a good communication with. You also want to work with somebody who's gonna be there for you, especially if some hurdles come up. And you know this, Felix, as long as you've been in the world of real estate, stuff happens during certain loans, certain processes. Speed bumps come up, and that's where it comes back to, who do you have in your corner, and are they there keeping you protected to keep you from getting basically knocked out and without a home?
Yeah, listen, I've gone on, for my clients, I've fought with the attorneys, I've fought with the mortgage companies, I've fought with the insurance companies because I felt that they were doing something wrong, and I'm going to step in for my clients. And 100%, I'm going to do what it takes to make sure that the process goes, as smoothly as possible. But like you said, there's always bumps. Something's going on with the mortgage. That's why I tell everybody, so listen, whatever documents they ask you for, put it on a file. Keep everything together because they're probably going to ask you 3 or 4 more times for the same documents.
No, not all of us. Not all of us, sir. Hey, out to Felix.
Some companies do, because it's, a lot of companies I've dealt with, you have 20 different departments and they were all in different countries. It's, I put it, they think they will all be under one door. And it's like, you're doing transactions with the same company for the whole entire deal. And the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. It's like, you guys all work for the same company. How do you not know what's going on with this person or that person? It's nuts.
That's why I always stress to people, I'm like, yeah, you can go to the big box bank. I said, the problem is you're going to get the big box bank service, which is typically, not the best in the world. Like you said, missing documents, losing documents. And that's where it goes back to having the right people. And that's kind of like the way I do stuff when I'm working with my clients. Is I've kind of taken the old school approach of, because like I said, you've been in this business over 20 years and so have I. You remember the day when every mortgage person pretty much met face to face with the clients, did they not? Got the documents face to face, got all that. Well, luckily with the technology that I have, that we have access to now, is I meet with each of my clients face to face every time. Similar to how we're meeting here. That way they love it because, wait a minute, I can actually meet with my mortgage person. I can actually sit down as if I'm face to face with him while I'm sitting at my kitchen table or in my living room and going over the loan options and seeing what's going on and being able to get him his documents very easily. So we make sure that he has the documents and there is no questions and no problems. Now, underwriter may not like every document that they get, may want a little bit of change or something done or explanation. But the point is going back to having the correct team in place and going back to that old school way of service and taking care of the clients to where there's actually a real meeting with people. Because today's time, too many people are, okay, go to www.mortgageapplication.com and I'll send you an email when I'm ready to go over numbers with you, or send you an email on what the numbers are. Well, that's not taking care of a person. I can go to a fast food place and go to one of those touch kiosk things if I want that type of bad service.
I miss those days of me taking the contract from my buyers and knocking on the door of the seller. Say, hey, calling the agent up and say, I'm heading over. I want to present my offer in person. Those are great days. I would sit there, okay, negotiate for about an hour, come up with the solution. Okay, great. Sign here, your house is sold. Now it's best and final next week, and we'll give you a call.
The good old days. Well, let me do this. Our show is only about a half hour, and we are getting close to the end of it. But I definitely want to get your final thoughts here, Felix. And I also wanted to put up on the screen here so everybody can see if, is it all right if folks reach out to you in your group and say, hey, I got some questions. I'm looking at getting involved in some multifamily real estate investing. Can they reach out to you?
Absolutely, definitely reach out to me. My team and I are always, we want to help out. If you're looking for residential, you're looking to sell, you're looking to buy, definitely reach out to me. And, I work with Exit Realty in New Jersey, and so even if you're in another state, if you have residential questions and you need an agent, give me a call. So I'll be more than happy to call up somebody from Exit and get you an agent that I know is going to work with you perfectly and help you out the best way that we can. If you're looking to invest in real estate, absolutely reach out to me. If you're looking to learn, reach out to me. I will teach you what I know, and what I don't know, I don't pretend to know. So I will get the right person in there. But at least I will be able to get you started in the right spot. And I don't ask for anything in return. If I'm going to teach you something, and all I ask for is, if you do find your first deal, hey, make sure I'm the first person you call. Now that's it. That's make sure I'm the first person you call. We'll underwrite it together. We'll look at the numbers, and if it's a great investment, I'll jump on there with you. Absolutely. So that's the way I like to do things. And I'm always a positive person. Back in 2015, I was in a bad accident and left me in a wheelchair, so I could just sat back and just laid on the couch and not done nothing. But as my son say, I'm doing more in a wheelchair now than I have ever done before in my life. So it's traveling, doing everything, meeting people, networking, doing it all. It's it was the godsend. So it's definitely changed my life, and it's changed it for the better. And you want to start doing things, start being positive. You want to get more energy, so work out. It's like the more I work out, the more I feel alive. The more I feel better, the more I get done. So it's start that way. Start doing things that make you happy, but start getting disciplined. Everybody's like, "Oh, I need motivation." You just have to get disciplined. Motivation. You want me to motivate you? I said, "I'll play you a song." Yeah, it's a song. I'll play you a song. That'll motivate you for what? The 5 minutes that it's playing.
Yep.
What are you gonna do after that? You're gonna play another song, and how long is that gonna last? But if you start doing things and start getting disciplined at it, you're gonna see changes. You're gonna see changes that you want. But you gotta start somewhere. I heard a quote, and I love the quote. It's surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when you walk in a room. Slow is the fastest way to get to where you want to go. And the top of every mountain is the bottom of the next. So keep on climbing. And those little the things I love. And I stopped being around people who were going to keep me at my level. I started surrounding myself with people who were just going to get me higher and higher and higher. And that's what I want to do. Hey, listen, you want to get higher and higher and higher? I'll teach you whatever I know. And let's grow together. Yeah.
Oh, that's some great stuff. And you're absolutely right about that, especially with, and let's be honest, there's been a lot of crazy stuff been happening for the past plus years now with all the stuff we've had going on. And that's great to hear that. You've got to keep the right mental mindset, because your mental mindset is so important on where you're going. Just like you said with the working out. I mean, I'm sure you've had this experience where you go to work out and you're thinking before you get there, I don't feel like doing it. I'm tired. And you're in that one side of your mind is you got every excuse. Well, I'll skip today and I'll do tomorrow and I'll work twice as hard and all that other lies you tell yourself. And then the one side goes, no, we're going in there. We're going to do the work. And then you start doing the work and start doing the work. And when you get done, you're like, I'm glad I did that because I feel great now.
Yeah, and then you go out and your day and you get things done. It's like, I thank God every morning I wake up, and I thank God for every night before I go to bed for a great day. One thing I stopped doing is stop thinking negative things. I'm always thinking positive, because your mind and your body doesn't know the difference. So if you start thinking negative, your body's going to react negative. So thinking positive, your body's going to react positive. So think about it. So at night, instead of thinking about all the negative things that happened in that day, just start thinking of all the positive things that you're having in life before you go to bed. Let's see if you have a better night's sleep.
Exactly. Well, Felix, I really appreciate you having you on today. It has been great chatting with you, and I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us. And I hope my listeners really appreciate Felix being here. He's offered a lot of great insight on the world of real estate investing and real estate itself. And if some of you all are out there thinking about wanting to maybe get involved in some real estate investing or talk with some people, Felix didn't start out in this knowing everything what was going on. I know, based just from hearing what you said here, you were scared, you were nervous, you got your son involved, and he went, okay, Dad, let's go, let's run. And guess what? Your 24-year-old son now working on buying his third house at 24 years old.
And is a general partner on a multifamily unit in Texas.
That's incredible. That's right in my backyard too.
Both of my sons are on the deal as general partners. So.
That is fantastic. Well, I appreciate it. And yeah, definitely. I definitely probably going to want to have you back on in the future, and definitely maybe next time have you on and maybe talk about one of your deals, and hopefully be able to maybe show some before and afters. I'd love to be able to, if you had some, in the future, start getting some video and some photographs of some of the projects that you went in and bought. Maybe you went in and renovated. And yeah, I'd love to have you come in on that and have a discussion about that. That would be fantastic. Well, perfect. Well, I really appreciate it. I'm going to put you back here in the green room in a second. If you would just hang out for a few minutes as I kind of wind things down. And I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. Sorry about that. My computer didn't do what it wanted to, but I want to thank everybody for stopping by today and checking out my show, Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. I want to thank Felix Lopez for coming on here and sharing his story with me. And once again, would you all do me a favor? We're really looking to grow this, and I really want to keep being able to bring you all some great guests on here who can share their stories with you. Please like, subscribe if you know some people that you think would be great hosts, or not hosts, but guests that could come on my show and really offer their insight about what's going on in the world of real estate. Please shoot me a text and let me know. I'd love to chat with them. Thank you all. We'll see you next week.